Thanks, Jackson. While you may recognize the name OneKU from last year's election, Maddie and Maddie, both former representatives of Student Senate, have a new plan in store for this year.
OneKU and what we kind of stand for collectively is continuing progress at this university, and I think that's what we've really prioritized for us. You know, it's renewing our commitments to diversity and inclusion. It's looking at the most important pieces of student experience that we have the power to influence and positively change. So to me that means, you know, the most important pieces, the difference between a student staying here and leaving. So issues like retention, things that really impact students' lives in a meaningful way and could change their experience.
OneKU has a variety of platforms they are passionate about.
So a few of our most important platforms to me is one is absolutely Project Callisto, which is bringing in a new technology to kind of address the university's reporting system for sexual assault. I think that we haven't really made progress in that area as quickly as we should have, and this system introduces, you know, a matching system so that survivors are made aware of each other and that perhaps they want to go through that process together so that it's empowering for them.
Another platform that's really important to us is we want to establish an international student writing center. So essentially right now we have a student writing center, but it doesn't address the needs of international students who may not know grammatically how to say something or may need that extra help. And so what the International Student Writing Center would do would help to make sure that those students can say what they're trying to say in English without the language barrier. And it would be housed within the Writing Center. It would just be an additional service offered.
Other platforms include safety and transportation on campus. There are several changes OneKU would like to see done next year.
I think next year it's important that we kind of like renew our commitment to these issues. You know, renewing our commitment to diversity and inclusion in our Senate, reimagining the way that perhaps the whole process even functions, you know, in terms of equity, but also just making sure that we are moving forward with these issues, progressing, and kind of pushing the student experience to places that it hasn't been before.
In terms of Student Senate, I think that sometimes the committees, as a committee chair, are not always engaged as they could be, and I think that the committees is a place where students have power. Anybody can show up to a committee meeting, anybody can earn voting rights if you attend 2 meetings in a row, and I think that that's something that's really, you know, a big deal, kind of, and I guess that this year it hasn't been utilized to its fullest. So something that I'd like to work on next year is making sure, you know, students know that they can come to committees and they can speak on these bills and they can have a voice too.
So what separates OneKU from the other coalitions?
I think the biggest strength of OneKU and what we have to offer is by far and away the people that we have on board. I think a lot of us have records that speak to our commitment to working on these issues, and that we have people who are ready to do that work, honestly. I would always say the strength of the people that we have involved is by far and away something that motivates me to push forward and something that really inspires me.
With students unhappy about concealed carry, OneKU says they are working on it.
Concealed carry is something that I've definitely focused a lot on in my current position in Student Senate, and in a world in which we maybe don't get exactly what we want with the legislature, I think that we need to pursue ways to better educate the student body about what the policy actually is, because there's a lot of fear, and fear that is absolutely 100% warranted. But we also need to perhaps look at, like, you know, training courses and other things that can be done to make students feel more comfortable on the campus and kind of what that looks like. But I will always advocate, you know, to every level of government that is relevant, how students feel about the policy, and overwhelmingly it's not favorable.
Frankly, the legislature is probably not going to back down on this, and we kind of have to face the reality of it. Obviously, we've advocated for other means, but concealed and carry is not allowed in engineering labs because it's dangerous, and informing students of that and giving them the resources, you know, if they see a weapon, that's not allowed, and so giving them the channels to contact people to enforce those rules is something that I think is really important to address.
OneKU hopes to establish a more inclusive campus and create safety among our students. Reporting from the Union for KUJH, I'm Natalie Sitek.